Hello, how's it going? So I'm gonna record this before I forget to do this. I had something on my mind, and so I'm gonna talk about it. Also, not that it really matters, it's before 8 o'clock. So, and I'm gonna try to make this short because I do have to go in a little bit, but I have to go somewhere. I don't know. Anyways, I was thinking about the idea of like letting people suffer. And specifically what had triggered this thinking was that there is this individual that I noticed, that I felt drawn to in some way. And I used to be more in this energy when I was like, I'm homeless now, but like when I was more severely homeless. You know, when I literally had to be outside most of the time, you know what I mean? And the energy that I'm talking about is like the energy of like, how do I say this? Like extroversion, I guess, like seeing somebody and like going out of my way to like talk to them or like comfort them or whatever. You know, I used to do that really, really seriously back when I was homeless in another state. And I don't really operate that way anymore. I might like silently send a prayer or like silently send love or whatever the fuck. But like generally I kind of just stay to myself unless somebody comes to me. And I noticed this person and it was very clear to me that they could use a little bit of comfort. They could use a little bit of something. I don't know. And I noticed them last night. But then just now, as I was like leaving the shelter to take a walk or whatever, I noticed him again, and he was kind of shivering. And once again, from my perspective, it's like, it seems like he needed a little bit of warmth, a little bit of comfort or something. I silently sent him, you know what I mean, whatever, but I didn't talk to him. I didn't like go up to, I waved at him when I first saw him, but you know, I didn't like start a conversation or anything like that. And I don't know all the details. I have no idea. I have nothing on this person. I don't know anything about this person, like concrete. Like I could say intuitively I know, but like concretely I don't know anything about this person. So for me to like say that is maybe an assumption, but the point of it is like there's a greater point to it. I think sometimes as healers, as intuitive people, we see people in need and we immediately want to jump into action. But one thing you have to really discern and learn how to discern is like when somebody is suffering because of their own actions, you know, and it sucks. You know, you still don't want to see somebody in pain or in suffering, but like sometimes people are only going through what they're going through because of their own negligence, because of their own actions, you know what I mean? And I think it's quite interesting, I almost said laughable, but I think it's quite interesting, maybe a little bit comical, how a person could dish out certain energies, you know, aggression, obsession, violence, things like that. But then when it's returned back to them in some form, it's almost like they just can't take it, you know? And once again, it sucks to see people in this way, but that's the lesson. Like, do as others as you would like to be done to you. And you know, sure, maybe you could go and interrupt the story and be like, hey, I'll be your friend for a little bit, but like either way, like the reason why these people are going through what they're going is so that they can learn, is so that they can grow and they can be better, you know? And it's unfortunate that people even have to suffer in the first place to learn, but for a lot of people, that is the way to learning. That is the way to growing, through experiencing pain and suffering, you know? And once again, the specific person that triggered this video, I have no idea who this person is. I don't know them on a personal level. Like, this is literally just me making an intuitive assumption, you know, about this person. And I could be completely wrong, but I still feel like the moral of the message is important. So like that's what we're focusing. Because I make these videos sometimes about specific people or about specific situations, and I need to remind myself, and I want to remind us that like this isn't me personally trying to You know, like whenever you see me talking about a specific person or whatever, it's not about that person, it's about the message behind the person. You know what I mean? And like, once again, the message is sometimes that you just have to let people suffer. And it doesn't mean that you should wish for them to suffer. It doesn't mean that you should exacerbate or like make it like more obvious to the person. Like, but once again, sometimes you just have to let people exist in their own suffering, you know? Although my phone's on 20%, so, and I also do have to go eventually, so, a question that comes up as I had paused the video is like, how does one discern the difference? And that's a good question, I think. Whoever's asking that, you're beautiful, you're amazing. Thank you for asking such a beautiful question. And I think the answer to that is meditation. It's taking time for stillness, taking time to connect with God or your higher power, whatever you personally subscribe to, angels, whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever you personally subscribe to as your higher power. Like you just have to make time to listen and to receive messages and to be open to receiving messages, you know? And eventually it'll be very clear to you, you know? Now, I'm not saying that there won't be distortion. I'm not saying that there won't be things that try to get in the way of that clarity. But essentially, if you take time for what I just said, for meditation and stillness and all that jazz, you will be able to tell the difference without even having to really think about it, you know? And I guess speaking of handling things, there's also something coming through about like on the positive side of things, because we were talking about not being able to handle the negative karma that you dish out. The positive aspect of that is like, because I'm talking about being able to receive messages, and like there's something about being grounded enough and being in a space where you can receive messages without getting overstimulated or feeling overwhelmed or anything like that, you know? Because along my journey, I've had moments where I've gone into psychosis, I've gone into like the deep end because I was not grounded, I was not stable in my energy as I was receiving certain messages. And this is very important. Like your nervous system is like a huge way that we process the world. And if your nervous system is not calibrated, you will find yourself feeling crazy and like, you know what I mean? Out of control and all things like that. And so you have to really be careful with that. That's a message for somebody here, somebody listening. I don't know who needs to hear that, but that's for somebody. And oh my God, why is this song? This is, I don't know if I should share this. I feel like this might be a personal hit. I'm hearing the song, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me by Taylor Swift. And I think it's because most people would look at me, they would hear me talk and like, they wouldn't assume that I know what I know or that I've been through what I've been through. And I don't really care about all that, but like, I feel like that's a relevant piece of information for, like, it doesn't matter how you look or like how you dress it up. You just have to be in the space where you can handle it and where you can manage it and maintain it properly, you know? Because a lot of people like to dress up with all the crystals and shit, and it's like, it's a nice aesthetic, but like, it doesn't matter if your body can't physically handle what you're trying to take on, you know what I mean? So that's a message for somebody. I don't know who needs to hear that, but that's something that's coming through. One thing that I've been using recently that I use ChatGPT to come up with that I think has really been helpful for me and is going to be helpful for me is this, there's two acronyms. One of them is SASSER. I'm not going to go into that. That's for something that I'm making that maybe you'll see down the line, but the other one is TAP. You know how people say tap in? It's like that. And it stands for, what is it? Tune in, like tune into your body, like check into your body, sense what's going on with your body. And then we have A for acknowledge, name it if you can, whatever is going on in your body, whatever, you know, thing is happening. And then purify, which there's a lot of different ways to do that. Either breathe through it, pray about it, visualize, whatever. Shake it out of your body, dance it out, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that you need to do to ground and balance, and you know what I mean? And I feel like this has been really helpful for me. I just started using this like yesterday, but I feel like it's been really helpful. I immediately started using it because it's for a public project. It's not just for me, this concept. But I started using it for me, and it's been really helpful. And so if that is useful for anybody, there you go. Tap, tune in, acknowledge, and purify. Okay, I'm gonna end this here. I honestly feel like I've overstayed my welcome. Once again, I have to go at a certain point, so I'm gonna end this here. I hope you know that God loves you. I hope you know whatever you're going through is very temporary, and miracles happen all the freaking time, man. You just gotta align yourself with it and believe in it, you know. All right, deuces.